So phase 2 correction would be this, if it continues to trend sideways or a little bit stronger, which sets us up for phase 3 of the banana zone. That would be a corrective phase when everyone starts thinking it's all over, we'll give up now. Bitcoin dominance has peaked, and it peaked. It went up, put in another 9, and I think it's going to continue to fall from here. So that's like the start of the alt season. They've had this monstrous movement back to all-time highs there and thereabouts. You probably get a bit of congestion, a bit of profit taking, and then we get the leg higher. That leg higher should be, all of June should be strong, all of July should be strong, August should be more complicated, which is what we've been saying, which should be phase 2 of the correction of the banana zone. Things are kind of in this corrective pattern. Doesn't look a long-term thing. It looks like it's kind of next week or something like that.
The SEC's pausing of crypto ETF approvals has investors speculating as to why the sudden delay. Bitcoin and crypto holders are anticipating a multi-year bull run to begin very soon, and in the weeks ahead, Raoul says phase 3 of the banana zone is coming, much sooner than people expect. Many are anticipating the bullish momentum for Bitcoin and crypto as we continue to see more all-time highs. As this momentum is building, the institutions are quietly positioning themselves. Bitcoin is sitting just over 116,500, up almost 10% in the past month. With the next bull market, and with crypto and technology being the biggest investments this year, Raoul says that he's remaining bullish on digital assets. The former Goldman Sachs executive gives a portfolio update. He says the next phase of the crypto cycle is critical, and why in 2025 we'll see massive capital pouring into the space. With major pension funds and institutional investors on board for the coming cycle, Raoul predicts that crypto is on track to be a $10 trillion digital asset class. Powell says that this cycle will separate itself from its predecessors, as devalued fiat currencies will push more adoption into the crypto market and bring in more capital than we've ever seen before. Let's get right into the latest interview with Raoul as he gives his market prediction for the days and weeks ahead. Drop your comments down below and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here.
So firstly, Bitcoin dominance. This was try to get to the 9. It kind of would have been 9 that day. I put out that tweet saying Bitcoin dominance has peaked, and it peaked. It went up, put in another 9, and I think it's going to continue to fall from here. So that's like the start of the alt season. But really, it won't fall until we start getting below this kind of 61.5 level, something like this, 62. If it does that, then the much bigger game is at play, I think, which sets us up for phase 3 of the banana zone. So phase 2 correction would be this, if it continues to trend sideways or a little bit stronger. That would be a corrective phase when everyone starts thinking it's all over, we'll give up now. And then we should get phase 3, which is the final leg in the dollar, potentially a leg lower in rates, and the more speculative frenzy that comes at the last part of this. You see, there's that nice wiggle that it's not uncommon to get a slight correction. Whether this correction runs further, I think it's just forming a flag. It shouldn't be working wiggle for wiggle, but it appears to be right now, which is weird as shit, and I don't trust it. It's just, I think everybody finds it frustrating because they want it just to go up every day or every week, and it just doesn't work that way. It goes in spurts, and if you miss those opportunities, which is why I don't like ever being out of the market, because you miss it. So that's one. That's interesting to me. Solana, again, it's got this 13 like Bitcoin has. Looks like it's a wedge. There was that spike, but generally it was like this inverse head and shoulders. A bit of chopping around here. Next leg will be higher. When that is, whether we need to go a bit lower first. Sui was the kind of same to me. If I actually go to my normal Sui chart, I think this is some sort of flaggy pattern. This is obviously we have to ignore because that spike and down and back up again. But somewhere here is some sort of just corrective pattern like we've seen a million times in the past. Doesn't yet look like it wants to break higher. So I don't know what's chopping the market, but maybe it's just the M2 chart that we looked at before. You know, there's just a bit of chop to be had still, just as everyone starts getting really bullish because everybody's opening one of these new kind of MicroStrategy copies and everything else. So I think that ETH, I've not been using these charts a little for a bit, but ETH just continues to look good. The inverse head and shoulders is a bit all my scaling screwed. It all looks good. I mean, it's just rejected here. Maybe this all comes back down to 2300 or so before then finally making the break. Doesn't feel wildly unlikely. And then because those are doing that, everything's doing the same. I mean, ETH Bitcoin, same. There's like an inverse head and shoulders here. So I think, again, this is the classic sign of alt season. I think somewhere here, once it breaks this, then we're going back up here. And that'll be the start of something much bigger, I think, finally. And that's the classic sign of some sort of alt season. What else have I been looking at? So, as you said, things are kind of in this corrective pattern. Doesn't look a long-term thing. It looks like it's kind of next week or something like that.
Yeah.
So we wait and see. On the other stuff, it's going to give us a signal for what happens at the back end of the year. But if we go back to that chart you were showing of 2017, it's kind of suggesting that, these corrective patterns eventually fall away. The market digests this huge move that we had. It's a monstrous move. And then we go to another leg lower where we think it probably goes to somewhere between 95 and 90. So again, there's nothing I see is particularly, well, certainly nothing in equity land is bearish, but we're getting at levels of all-time highs where you get a bit of congestion. That will make sense. Nothing in crypto concerns me in any way, shape or form. It's just chopping around here. Feels like we're just going to be weaker for a bit, digesting various bits of news before we have the next leg.
We're digesting a big move in markets.
And, it's really interesting to see how strong the ETH narrative comes back. And I've been saying it for a while, is like, people can write off ETH. They're ridiculous. ETH has enormous amounts going for it. And now we've seen this new MicroStrategies version by Joe Lubin of buying ETH. I also think the financial system uses ETH a lot more. And I think ETH outperforms Bitcoin all the rest of the cycle now. And that's not uncommon.
Raoul says it's the fastest pace of adoption of any investable asset in all of human history. By the end of 2025, there will be 1.1 billion active crypto wallets. The pace of growth is hard to comprehend, and it will be the fastest accumulation of wealth we have ever seen. This is the conclusion of a career's worth of research. And every single chart and piece of research leads to the same conclusion. Liquidity drives everything, and crypto will be the best performing asset of them all. Raoul has been stressing to investors for months that all the factors are beginning to align right now, a period characterized by parabolic moves upwards in crypto prices.
Really interesting. I was in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Qatar, and I was at the Abu Dhabi Investment Council, which is one of the big sovereign wealth funds. And they just made it very clear that everybody in the region, and Tom will know this because he's out there as well, is that they've all been given the mandate. Number one is AI, and number two is blockchain. Our core thesis is what they're building their entire future country stack on. And this is the whole Trump visit that went there. It's all about the same thing. So they know they've got abundant energy, which is part of your thesis, David. They know they've got abundant energy. They know that they're going to have to adopt technology at scale. They've got young populations that are growing, and they think they can be not only a regional leader, but a world leader in these two things. And so the mandate is invest in this, build this. And it's really exciting to see. I mean, everyone there is still trying to get their heads around what it means. I mean, but this is everything from the oil company through to the sovereign wealth funds, through to the general population, through to businesses, through to the education system, the system of government, all of it. That's what's up to grabs. And that's not just in Abu Dhabi, which tends to be very well thought through in this, but it's Dubai, it's Qatar, and it's Saudi. And Saudi's, really is a big player behind the scenes in this whole thing. So they have this cohesive strategy about what the world is going to look like, and that's what they're accelerating on.
Powell stresses this pattern is normal and necessary to flush out weak hands and reset leverage. He highlights Bitcoin's high correlation to global liquidity, which remains supportive, even during temporary liquidity air pockets. He believes the market is setting up for another strong leg higher. Similarly, Bitwise CIO Matt Haugen supports this view, pointing to a dip-then-rip pattern, where sharp pullbacks are typically followed by massive rallies, up to 190% gains historically. Both argue that patience, not panic, is key. The banana zone is alive, just misunderstood. As the momentum in the crypto market is building and institutions are positioning themselves, Raoul says everything is about to change. He says the next phase of the crypto cycle is critical, and he's stacking big bets in his portfolio right now. With the next bull market, and with crypto and technology being the biggest investments this year, Raoul says that he's remaining bullish on digital assets after significantly increasing his position size during the last bear market. The former Goldman Sachs executive gives a portfolio update on which crypto assets have the biggest upside in the coming months. He says we're about to see massive capital pouring into the crypto space. With major pension funds and institutional investors on board for the coming cycle, Raoul predicts that crypto is on track to be a $10 trillion digital asset class. Powell says that this cycle will separate itself from its predecessors, as devalued fiat currencies will push more adoption into the crypto market and bring in more capital than we've ever seen before. Bitcoin is one that is headed for an unprecedented price milestone, and Raoul foresees a financial tidal wave that will catapult cryptocurrency to new highs. Raoul says the crypto world is on the brink of something massive, a seismic shift for Bitcoin and crypto in what he calls the banana zone. As the momentum is building and the institutions are quietly positioning themselves, Raoul says everything is about to change. He recently shared his take on the current economic uncertainty, with tariffs and recession fears creating market volatility, that a major market rally is on the horizon. And that's where Bitcoin comes in. Bitcoin has been trading more like a risk asset lately, meaning if the market recovers, Bitcoin is expected to surge alongside it. But the uncertainty is key here. If the market remains stuck in limbo, Bitcoin could face short-term pressure. So we could see a sharp recovery in the next week. The bottom line, Bitcoin's next big move depends on how this plays out.